Good afternoon, everyone. So, how many of you could complete? थोड़ा आवाज बढ़ा देना. All 5 questions. Complete. मैंने बोला था आपको ट्रेलर सिर्फ उस दिन पता चला. अब ये 5 क्वेश्चन 20 क्वेश्चन हो जाएंगे. सिर्फ इतना याद रखना एग्जामिनेशन के दिन. और 20 क्वेश्चन यू विल हैव टू राइट ऑफ डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स. अब तो सिर्फ 2 ही सब्जेक्ट्स थे. एक तो करंट अफेयर्स का, एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन था करंट अफेयर्स का जो यू कैन इजीली राइट, बट दिस विल बिकम नाउ द 20 क्वेश्चंस. एंड इफ यू लुक एट द रिसेंट ट्रेंड्स ऑफ यूपीएससी, 25 भी हो सकते हैं. They can change it into the 5 marker also, they can change it into 25 marker also, they can change into 10 marks or 12.5 marks. So you have to be prepared for all this. So matlab is, and why the speed is less? Because thought process nahi proper. Once you know the flow कि आंसर में क्या लिखना है, how the introduction should be, कौन सा डायग्राम आना है, क्या क्या पॉइंट्स आने हैं, you are not searching for the words, then only your answer paper will be complete. थोड़ा भी इफ यू स्टार्ट सर्चिंग फॉर द वर्ड्स, तो आप 2 चीज़ें करोगे. ईदर यू आर गोइंग टू राइट द सेम पॉइंट्स अगेन एंड अगेन, घुमा फिरा के वही लिखोगे, या फिर व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू राइट इज व्हाट यू नो, नॉट व्हाट इज आस्क्ड. पूछा है द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ फोल्ड माउंटेन्स विद द हेल्प ऑफ प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स. आप लिखोगे डाइवर्जेंट प्लेट बाउंड्री भी, ट्रांसफॉर्म प्लेट बाउंड्री भी, बिकॉज यू नो प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स. प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स के बारे में पूछा ही नहीं था. पूछा था एक्सप्लेन द अर्थक्वेक्स एंड वॉल्केनोज विद द हेल्प ऑफ प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स. तो अर्थक्वेक्स के बारे में सिर्फ इतना ही लिखना है, एंड उसमें मेंशन करना है वॉल्केनोज में ड्यू टू सबडक्शन एंड मेल्टिंग. सो नॉट, और एक्स्ट्रा चीज क्या हो सकती है इसमें, यू कैन गिव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एन पैसिफिक रिंग ऑफ फायर जहां पे देयर आर कंटिन्यूअस वॉल्केनोज. ये पूछा ही नहीं उन्होंने कि कितनी बाउंड्रीज है. You have to, they have asked you a simple question, because this is a past year question. They have asked you a simple question, why the fold mountains are always located at the margins of the continent. So जो examiner है, he will be looking for 2 key points in your answer. एक तो whenever there is an plate tectonics, उसका effect is seen only at the margins. I have given you an bus वाला example also. So it is effect is seen only at the margins, and therefore एक तो convergent plate boundary में, especially during ocean convergence, because this ocean continental convergence, this is the most common type of convergence. इसलिए the fold mountains are at the margins of the continents. इसका exception है Himalayas, because it is an continent convergence. There is no need of writing ocean convergence. There is no need of writing divergent plate boundary. There is no need of writing convergent plate boundary. Then next question is, they did not ask you, next part of the question is, they did not ask you why plate tectonics explains volcanoes and earthquakes. उन्होंने पूछा है fold mountains के यहाँ क्यों है volcanoes and earthquakes. So while telling, इस part में आपको बताना है how does the mechanism operates. There is a collision, subduction, plate starts going inside, melts, magma का level increases due to difference in the outside pressure and inside pressure. Magma starts rising upwards, and when it starts rising upwards, it comes out in the form of violent volcanic eruption. So इसीलिए you have volcanoes in the regions जहाँ पे there is subduction. You do not have volcanoes in Himalayas because there is no subduction. Then the next point what we will have to remember, यहाँ पे is earthquake skew. So as seen above, there is a collision, movement of the plates due to convectional currents. There is continuous volcanic eruption, magma is flowing, and this all causes earthquakes. So you have to write this point. And उसमें एक ही डायग्राम सबसे important है, that is of an convergent plate boundary. So अब इस आंसर को improve कैसे किया जाए? You can start with the introduction of the fold mountains. They are the highest mountains in the world, and these are classified into many types, but the most important are young fold mountains. The formation of the fold mountains is explained by the plate tectonic theory, which says there are 3 kinds of boundaries. 1, 2, 3 सिर्फ mention करो. But out of all 3 boundaries, it is the convergent plate boundary which explains the formation of fold mountains. Then explain what happens in the convergence. Then you mention the most common type of convergence is ocean continental convergence, and its effects in any kind of convergence or divergence is seen on the margins, and therefore we have the fold mountains located on the margins of the continents. Example, Andes, Rockies, Alps, etc. Then you mention that the formation of volcanoes and earthquakes. As seen above, whenever there is a convergence in ocean continent या ocean convergence, the denser plate subducts. After going deep inside the mantle, due to the heat of the mantle, it melts. After melting, it gives out volcanic eruptions. So the volcanic eruptions are very common in the regions of fold mountains except Himalayas because there is no subduction. Make a diagram of Pacific Ring of Fire. You can, ये value addition है, making a diagram of Pacific Ring of Fire. Next point, due to continuous movement, due to isostatic equilibrium, अब कोई इसमें ये word डालेगा isostatic equilibrium और अच्छा लगेगा. As the isostatic equilibrium is not achieved, as the plates are continuously moving, as the magma is continuously rising, the earth shakes, and therefore these are the regions which are tectonically unstable region, causing large scale earthquakes. Example यहाँ पे all the fold mountains including Himalayas. So thus conclusion, thus the plate tectonic theory properly explains the formation of fold mountains, Himalayas, that is fold mountains, earthquakes and the volcanoes. Or the plate tectonic theory gives us insight to the different endogenetic forces that operate inside the earth. You can choose any of a conclusion. Khatam 180 words में या 200 words में. If you keep on writing something extra, answer complete नहीं होगा. दो 3 पेजेस दिए थे, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि तीनों पेजेस भरने हैं. जहाँ पे 200 वर्ड्स खत्म है वहाँ पे end it. But there is also one psychological aspect to it. If your handwriting is very small, तो आपके 200 words शायद first page में ही खत्म हो सकते. That no matter how much better you write, whatever the content you write, अगर छोटा लिखा है तो एग्जामिनर के दिमाग में सबसे पहले आता है कि इसने शायद कंप्लीटली लिखा नहीं है आंसर. सो राइट इन अ मीडियम हैंड राइटिंग. सो इट इज़ अ पर्सनैलिटी टेस्ट जहाँ पे योर हैंड राइटिंग इज ऑल्सो अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी. सो ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव योर हैंड राइटिंग ओवर द प्रोसेस ऑफ टाइम. लिखने से स्पीड बढ़ेगी एंड ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम योर हैंड राइटिंग विल ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव. ट्राई टू यूज़ प्रेजेंटेशन. डायग्राम कहाँ पे डालना है, एंड में डालना है या आंसर के बीच में डालना है. जब आप टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ते हो तो कभी भी डायग्राम एंड में नहीं होते, आंसर के बीच में होते हैं, बिकॉज बाय लुकिंग एट द अबाउट डायग्राम यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोसेस. सेम रूल्स यहाँ पे फॉलो करने हैं. दैट इज अ वे ऑफ इफेक्टिव प्रेजेंटेशन, इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन. सी फ्लोर स्प्रेडिंग वेरी इजी, डायरेक्ट आंसर था वो. सो यू हैव टू मेंशन अबाउट द सी फ्लोर स्प्रेडिंग इन पॉइंट्स. देन यू हैव टू मेंशन, क्रिटिकली इवैल्यूएट तो नहीं था, explain the sea floor spreading, then you have to write about the evidences of an sea floor spreading and draw a diagram starting में ही before writing the answer. If the diagram is ready, आपको पता लगता है what are the points you are missing or what are the points you have to write. अगर diagram is not ready, then you mix sea floor spreading with continental drift theory. Then you forget the evidence of paleomagnetism. Maybe पहला evidence आप लिखोगे कि continuous volcanic eruption नहीं. पहला evidence should be the most important evidence. And what is the most important evidence? Presence of mid-oceanic ridges. Second, उसी का continuation. उनका height goes on decreasing. Third, उसी का continuation. The thickness of the sediments goes on increasing. Fourth is, then you can talk about volcanic eruption continuously along the mid-oceanic ridge. Fifth is the age of the oceanic crust versus the continental crust. And sixth is paleomagnetism. Paleomagnetism, even if it is not there, you will not lose marks. Remember, you will not lose marks because paleomagnetism is a different concept in itself. वो सिर्फ एक evidence है. But if you can write, very good. Then I guess the last question was on the sun preference, meta sun preference, unwanted woman and the missing girls. So it is related to the sun meta preference जो economic survey ने कहा था. So is there anyone who has, दो आंसर बहुत जनरल है इसका, anyone who has quoted the sex ratio in India? You should quote sex ratio in India. And how you should quote the sex ratio in India? कितना है सेक्स रेशियो अभी? 930? कितना है? 980? 918, are you sure? Look at the sex ratio in India. 2011 census. And child sex ratio in India? Child sex ratio 0 to 6 years के बीच. So this what shows कि चलो हमारा this sex ratio has increased over the period of time. 943 still is an improvement as compared to the 933 last year, but child sex ratio is continuously falling. And why it is continuously falling? That is the meta-son preference. Female feticide, unwanted girls, or the what missing woman is what is happening in China and India. There is illegal trafficking which is happening from one region जहाँ पे sex ratio is higher to the other regions जहाँ पे sex ratio is very very low. So you will have to quote case studies. अभी we will not have an examples of this, but you start your answer with the data. Data के साथ answer start करोगे, it is very very impressive. Then you can talk about the factors, socio-economic factors. इससे क्या होता है? What happens if the women are less in the society? What happens if women are less in the society? Yes. So tell me. पैट्रियार्किकल नेचर ऑफ द सोसाइटी हो जाता है. पैट्रियार्किकल नेचर ऑफ द सोसाइटी इज ऑलवेज बैड. व्हाई इट इज ऑलवेज बैड? बिकॉज it will result into increasing fertility rate. Increasing fertility rate, that is, they will keep on reproducing till the time they do not get a male child. Some of them kill the female child, some of them do not kill the female child. ये gap क्या दिखाता है? ये gap दिखाता है that the girl child has been killed. Female feticide हुआ है. Why it is there? Because we do not strictly implement the PC and DT Act. That is very very easy with the present technology. Secondly, gene race की study है, अमर्त्य सेन की study है of the 190 districts in India. So out of 190 districts in India, जहाँ पे women empowerment है, in those 14 districts, the crime rate is almost zero. Everything here is related. Crime rate is almost zero. जहाँ पे women कम है, there is, especially because the woman as a mother acts in giving direction to the child or to the children, and when she as a mother is giving direction, उसका long implications है. Maybe the frustration levels become so high when you come into this society. What has happened when you come in this urbanized society? You are suddenly cut off from the support system, and when they are suddenly cut off from the support system, there are two choices: keeping the links with your village or with your family and taking the emotional support, yeah, going into drugs, going into alcoholism, going into tobacco misuse. कुछ भी हो सकता है इधर, and ultimately it is going to result into increasing crime. So this is what relation, interlinkages will require in the answer. Poor social infrastructure. Poor social infrastructure is in the terms कि we do not invest in education then. Because males है, dominant society है, female नहीं है. There are some works which only female can do very properly. There are some works which only males can do properly. The nature has made us such. See, ये सब evolution से हुआ है. Ask a male to hunt or ask a male even today to do some jobs which require more of a strength, physical strength they can easily do. But ask a male to सुई में धागा डालने के लिए, we cannot do it very, very properly. Because over the period of time, generations say males have been doing hunting and women have been managing the house at the micro level. So the same thing happens here, but with the increasing gap, there is a so much poor social infrastructure कि government, there is no investment in education. Women are married off at the early age. With the marriage in the early age, there is more rise in the population. With more rise in that is the woman जिसका fertility rate should be around 2 children in her lifetime, gives birth to large number of children. With the large number of children, हम ये आएंगे, ये geography का part है, demographic transition model. With the large number of children में birth, what is happening? The population resource ratio imbalance हो जाता है. With the population resource ratio becoming imbalanced, the country, no matter what it does, it has to spend more amount on social infrastructure. That is, because large number of children hai, so children are not healthy. They get frequently ill because they are malnourished. You should know the UN ka data that India is the home of largest number of malnourished population in the world. Hunger alag hai. We have gone ahead of food security and we are below malnourishment. Malnourishment में हम बहुत कम है. We are highly malnourished. And hunger में you will not be surprised कि hungry कहाँ पे है? मध्य प्रदेश, ओडिशा, झारखंड, छत्तीसगढ़. यहाँ पे we have large number of hungry children. Implication समझ में आ सकता है because demographically या social infrastructure से ये states backward है. But malnourishment सबसे ज़्यादा है आंध्र प्रदेश में. Wasted है children, stunted है children. Stunted means their height is shorter as compared to the height of that age. Wasted matlab they are much thinner as compared to the children that should belong to that age. They suffer from anemia, and as a result of this, their immunity power decreases to such an extent that India has the largest number of TB population in the world. You should know that 86% of Indians are carriers of TB. TB चाहे उसमें दिखे या ना दिखे, but 86% of Indians are carriers of TB. It's a burden है हमारे economy के ऊपर. This is a burden on our resources. If the population is not healthy, then the economy will never go stronger. And when the economy will never go stronger, there will not be rise in the wages. And if there is no rise in the wages, there will be no rise in the social or the quality of life. And if there is no rise in the quality of life, you will not be spending money on education because you will be thinking only of daily basis. More children, send them for labor, daily labor, education देके करना क्या है? Your aspirations only do not change. You remain in that vicious circle of poverty. And therefore, it is said that educate a man, you educate a person, an individual. Educate a woman, you educate the entire family. And you will see this over the period of time, though there are girls here. It is true for both. But because I am talking about the family, the center point of this family is a wife. So, अगर wife dangerous मिली, तो फिर बाल जल्दी झड़ जाएंगे. तो मेरे बाल पहले से ही झड़े हुए थे. So all this is related to this thing. मेरे बाल वैसे पहले ही झड़े हुए थे. मैं तो स्प्रे छिपा के गया था, इम्प्रेस नहीं होती नहीं तो जब एंगेजमेंट के समय पसीना आया तो उसने देखा काला काला कुछ निकल रहा है. When she asked me, पर तब तक मैंने रिंग पहना दी थी. So this is what you will have to write in this answer. The reason uska is that because that has never been our priority. Health and education and housing has never been our priority in the spending, government spending. But government has increased 2600 crores in ICDS. That is the Integrated Child Development Scheme, जिसको हम कहते हैं आंगनवाड़ी. So because that will keep on happening till the time we do not have more generation of money. इसीलिए तो ये सब चल रहा है. See, everything is linked here. Aadhaar, your Aadhaar number, then your property will be linked over the period of time, then they will catch you in the tax GDP. And जब government के पास पैसे होंगे, then only it can spend on the social infrastructure. Government cannot neglect defense because we have so friendly neighbors. So the defense has to be there. Secondly, we cannot neglect defense because we have some international commitments also to meet. Why USA is our friend? Why Russia will be our friend if we do not buy anything from them? If we do not give any money to them? So you will realize this over the period of time as you learn GS कि US का पूरा economy चलता है on the arms industry, arms and ammunition industry. So sub-Saharan Africa, which we say is the poorest countries in the world, वहाँ पे छोटे बच्चे को खाने के लिए कुछ नहीं और हाथ में AK-47. You should question कहाँ से आ रही है AK-47? AK-47 buying तो is not so easy, is not so cheaper than the bread. So this is there. Then secondly, if we consider the education ka spending, now right now, though it may be right or wrong, which I personally feel is very wrong, government has reduced the spending on education, and because government has reduced the spending on education, the quality of education has decreased, and as a result of this, there is a sudden mushrooming of coaching centers in India. That is what I am saying. Government is doing privatization of health. Government is doing privatization of education. On other hand, that is US ka model. We are not copying European model. European and Singapore ka model mein there is the education, health and housing is totally on the government. They do not. They will tax you very high, but they will make sure that you get quality education. So there is a mushrooming of educational institutions. Now, the coaching institutes. And coaching institutes are profit oriented. They want to make money. So when they are profit oriented and they want to make money, and they will promise you jobs, which is not possible obviously for each and everyone. There are so many posts available. So in this case, what happens, you spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees in coaching industry right from your childhood. And then when you come out, you do not get enough jobs in the market because our private sector has failed to create jobs. When you do not get enough jobs in the market, you start looking at the government sector. There is so much competition in the government sector that the agrarian economy, जो farming community थी India की, if you look at the 4 caste system in India, except for Brahmins, most of you used to be in the farming community. So जो farming community थी India की, due to the failure of agrarian economy, the failure of private sector jobs, they have started demanding reservations in the people nowadays want to be declared as a backward community. It is exactly opposite of the Vedic age. So this is what is happening due to privatization of education. I will discuss this much later when we will do the agrarian unrest. Agrarian unrest, अब मीडिया कहती है इतने 70 साल तक ये लोग सोए थे क्या, जो अलग अलग स्टेट्स में अभी डिमांड कर रहे हैं रिजर्वेशन का, whether it is जाट, whether it is मराठा, whether it is any other. But you should also remember कि पिछले 70 साल में इतना ग्लोबलाइजेशन का इम्पैक्ट नहीं था. पिछले 70 साल में बिकॉज ग्लोबलाइजेशन का इम्पैक्ट नहीं था, देयर वाज नो एलपीजी. 91 के बाद एलपीजी स्टार्टेड, लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन, ग्लोबलाइजेशन, एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन का इफेक्ट इज बीइंग सीन नाउ. एंड एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस देयर इज डिमांड फॉर रिजर्वेशन और द एग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी हैज टोटली फेल्ड. सो व्हेन द एग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी फेल्स, people start migrating and there is a sudden increase in urbanization, but haphazard urbanization. Haphazard urbanization is slums or squatter settlement. And रियल इस्टेट में स्पेकुलेशन, एंड देयरफॉर रियल इस्टेट का प्राइजेस इन द अर्बन एरियाज हैव टच्ड द स्काई. Why? Because everything is related to what government should focus is stopping the flow from the rural regions to come to urban regions, and this will come only when we do APJ Abdul Kalam said pura, providing urban amenities in the rural areas. Otherwise, for each and everything you are looking at the urban region only. Coaching ho, education ho, jobs ho, you are looking for, and this is what is happening, and this is true for each and everyone who is sitting here. You all have linkages in the villages, you all are, या एक ये जनरेशन नहीं होगा तो पिछला जनरेशन होगा, जो 90s में आए थे, 80s और 90s में जो यहाँ पे आए थे, they got sufficient number of jobs. But अभी जो आ रहे हैं in the recent 5 to 10 years, private sector has failed. Private sector has failed because there is no R&D. And till the time we do not have R&D, there will be no manufacturing. Until the time we do not have manufacturing, there will not be jobs on the mass scale. What each and every company in India is doing, China se import karke, they label it and they give guarantee on that item. Only difference between Chinese item and the Indian goods is कि Indian goods में imported from China है and guarantee है. Otherwise, they are both Chinese item. And what we are doing by this, we are increasing the Chinese economy also. But we are failing. That is the concept. We will discuss it later on, what is known as demographic dividend versus demographic time bomb. It is more of a demographic time bomb because at the time we are having the youngest population in the world, in the reproductive age group, the economically. Productive age group means 15 to 59 years. This is the productive age group. So this is the age group जिसका कंट्री को बेनिफिट होता है. इससे पहले पॉपुलेशन इज डिपेंडेंट, गवर्नमेंट हैज टू स्पेंड ऑन एजुकेशन एक्सेट्रा. इसके बाद का पॉपुलेशन इज डिपेंडेंट, गवर्नमेंट हैज टू स्पेंड ऑन पेंशन, सोशल सिक्योरिटी. दिस इज द प्रोडक्टिव एज ग्रुप. एंड यू सी बिकॉज ऑफ द फेलियर ऑफ द जॉब्स इन द प्राइवेट सेक्टर क्या हो रहा है. यू ऑल बिलोंग टू दिस एज ग्रुप एंड एज लिमिट फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज इज नाउ 32. If not after civil services, unfortunately, then state services का age limit is 40. So ये जो reproductive age group है, where you should be paying taxes, where you should be helping the economy to grow, we are wasting our precious years. That is, if you are not doing hard work, just remember, you are wasting. देश का भी नुकसान हो रहा है और आपका तो हो ही रहा है. Because after 35, the energy levels will decrease biologically. 40 के बाद, then there is no much chances left in the life. So 40 के बाद. And thus, then there is a social tension or frustration. And what is happening because of this is, this is also a reproductive age group biologically, and therefore they will add population. Plus, health sector has improved to such an extent that the population has increased here. Population is already very high here. मीडिया सिर्फ हमें ये बताता है, गवर्नमेंट सिर्फ ये कहता है, that is we are having the highest number of young population in the world. They hide us from the fact that we are having the second largest number of dependent population in the 59 plus age group, which by 2035 India will be having the highest number of dependent population. So इसके जो gains है, that will be neutralized by this. And if we do not invest here, then future is very bleak. If we invest here properly, the future is good. So actually we should require something like China, one child policy. But it will not come in democracy. So with this background, ये जब demography आप you will understand, you can easily understand the wage level, you can easily understand the distribution of industries. So उसका एक सिर्फ factor है meta son preference, that is the having a male child. इसके there are numerous such factors. So when we are doing the faulting, there are basically 3 types of faults. One is the normal fault. Why the normal fault? Due to which force? Due to the forces of tension when the pulling is there, and therefore there is a breakage of the crust, and due to the breakage of the crust the center part may slip down or go up, resulting into formation of the rift valleys and the block mountains. It will obviously result into widening of the earth's crust. The second type of an fault is the reverse fault. Generally, compression results into folding, but sometimes the compression also results into breaking. It will depend upon the elasticity of the rocks. For example, if I press this bottle, it will get folded, but if I press this glass, because इसकी elastic limit कम है, तो it will break, crack होगा और वो displace होगा. So this is faulting. So as a result of this, again we will have the same feature, that is the block mountains and the rift valley. Then the third kind of an fault was, that is the step fault. Step fault may also there is an vertical displacement, but this vertical displacement occurs in the same direction, giving a landform a series of steps. And its best example was Deccan Traps or Deccan Lava Plateau. Deccan Traps or Deccan Lava Plateau. And the fourth kind of an fault is not that important, so I had skipped it, is the lateral fault. This is nothing but a transform plate boundary. Transform plate boundary mein the movement of the plates occur in parallel to each other, and because the plates move parallel to each other, there is a crack which is created, and this crack is nothing but a fault. इसमें rift mountains, block mountains नहीं बनेंगे, but इसमें rift valley ज़रूर बनेगी. Why? Because of the crack. So sometimes the movement of the plates occur in right hand side direction. That is the, ये अगर plate है, suppose this is a plate, it will move in the right side, and therefore the lateral fault is known as an dextral fault, because in Latin dextral means right, जहाँ पे the displacement will occur in the right side. Sometimes the displacement will occur on the left side, and therefore in Latin it is known as sinistral fault. So the lateral faults are of two types. That is the, when the displacement is on the right hand side, not important from the exam point of view at all, except that you should know इसका example, and you already have done that. इसका example is the San Andreas fault system. क्या हो रहा है in the San Andreas? California is moving to the left hand side का plate is more moving, and therefore it is an example of an sinistral fault. Sinistral matlab left hand side, dextral matlab right hand side. So lateral fault, you can take down some of the points. In this type of fault, the movement either occurs vertically or horizontally? Horizontally, either to the left or to the right. Horizontally, either to the left or to the right. Rightward movement is known as dextral fault. Rightward movement is known as an dextral fault, while the leftward movement is known as sinistral fault. In such kind of an fault system, there are long, narrow rift valleys. Long, narrow rift valleys. And now coming back to our example, we have started with the Great East African Rift Valley. So this Great East African Rift Valley starts from the Dead Sea. Then you will see it goes along the Red Sea. Red Sea के बाद there are numerous branches, but we are just going to remember one. And यहाँ पे I had asked you to remember the Lake Albert, Edward, and Nyasa. Yes. Once Madagascar was also a part of this Great East African Rift Valley. So this is the first region which we are going to do, that is the Dead Sea wala region. So open the map of Africa. And in this map of Africa, you will see in the Oxford Atlas, properly red color lines are given. ये पूरा है African Rift Valley. This is how the Africa is breaking into different pieces. This is an African Rift Valley system. The longest rift valley in the world starts from Syria, goes through the Dead Sea, and you will find some of the lakes which I have skipped. That is the lake Tukarna. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं याद रखने का. Then you will see Lake Albert and Lake Edward. See the shape of Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Tanganyika, and compare it with the shape of Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria का shape properly rounded है. It is an proper kind of an shape, and इनका shape is much elongated. So any rift valley will have an elongated shape. Fine with this? And then it goes to Lake Nyasa. It is also known as Lake Malawi. So you take down the lines here. This is the longest rift valley in the world. This is the longest rift valley in the world. Longest rift valley in the world. Passing through Syria, Dead Sea, comma, through Red Sea, Lake Tanganyika. I guess we have written already the second deepest lake in the world. Lake Tanganyika, the second deepest lake in the world. Lake Nyasa, the largest lake of Africa. Next statement, the largest lake of Africa, that is Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is not a part of Rift Valley. Longest and largest is largest lake of Africa, not of the world again. The largest lake of the world is Caspian Sea. The largest lake of the world is Caspian Sea. The largest freshwater lake of the world is Lake Superior. The largest freshwater lake of the world is the Lake Superior. Largest lake अगर पूछा it is in Caspian Sea. इतना बड़ा है, that is I had told this in the first lecture. Okay, it is known as an sea. अब what has happened here? Technically, it is a lake. The countries have decided to call it as a sea. So how to differentiate geographically between lake and a sea? ऐसे controversial questions नहीं पूछेगी UPSC because it has not been yet recognized by an international body. Some countries are saying it, तो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. How to differentiate between sea and a lake? Lake does not touch the ocean. Sea will always touch the ocean. So Black Sea is a sea because Black Sea through the Strait of Bosphorus touches the Mediterranean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea through the Strait of Gibraltar touches the Atlantic Ocean. Caspian totally landlocked hai. It is not touching. So Caspian is a lake. Dead Sea is a lake, Rift Valley Lake. Now what has happened here is what I have told you in the previous lecture also, that if this was a landmass, and if this was the level of groundwater, due to cracking, faulting, this landmass has now got converted into such kind of an landmass. It has resulted into the rift valleys and block mountains. But ये जो groundwater था, now this groundwater has come up, and as a result of this, there are lakes. When the groundwater has come up in this region, there is more evaporation than the precipitation. Rainfall से ज़्यादा there is evaporation, and therefore पानी चला गया, but what has remained is the salt, and therefore Dead Sea is the most saline lake in the world, second most saline lake in the world, not the most saline lake in the world. So some of the map based question you can take down वहाँ पे somewhere. Dead Sea is located between which two countries? Israel and Jordan. It is located between Israel and Jordan. याद रखना इस एरिया का each and every point is very important. Dead Sea is located between Israel and Jordan. It has the second highest salinity levels. It has the second highest salinity level. We'll come to salinity in oceanography. It has the second highest salinity level. River Jordan drains into the Dead Sea. River Jordan drains into or ends into, drains मतलब कहाँ पे खत्म होती है, that it drains into the Dead Sea. River Jordan drains into the Dead Sea. Lake Urmiqu, वो हम टर्की जब करेंगे तब then I'll show you on the map. Lake with the highest salinity. Now open page number 73. And just have a look at this map here on page number 73. Syria. मिला Syria? Syria के बाद Lebanon. What is the capital of Lebanon? Beirut. What is the capital of Syria? Map of Asia. West Asia. Open the map of West Asia. After that you will see Israel. Then if you go to the interior of Israel, एक blue color का पानी दिखेगा, and that is what? That is a Dead Sea. Dead Sea के उस side is the Jordan. Then when we come down, we will see the Gulf of Aqaba. मिला? कोई ज़्यादा important नहीं. उसके बाद the Asia is ending, and then what starts is the Africa. So that is why this part of Egypt is not shown colorful, because this is an African continent. और ये political map है एशिया का. So यहाँ पे nothing is shown. This is Egypt. This sea is the Mediterranean Sea, and this is Turkey. We have done this is Turkey. अब टर्की को क्रॉस करके which part comes here? This is Europe. And what is the strait? The Strait of Bosphorus. So if you want to know the Asian countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea, so can I say the first Asian country that surrounds the Mediterranean Sea is Turkey? Only Asian countries. European countries बहुत आसान है, we'll do that later on. उसके बाद it is Syria. Does Syria touch the Mediterranean Sea? Yes. Syria touches the Mediterranean Sea. After that, it is Lebanon. After that, it is Jordan. Right or wrong? Wrong. Jordan does not touch. After that, it is Israel. So these are the 4 Asian countries. Saudi nahi, Yemen nahi, no Oman bhi nahi. These are the 4 countries that touch the Mediterranean Sea. Turkey, Asian Turkey as well as European Turkey touches the Mediterranean Sea. उसके बाद Syria का वो part, after that Lebanon का part, and after that Israel का part. So these are the 4 countries, Asian countries that touch the Mediterranean Sea, and remember this as a shortcut. Silt. Silt are the Asian countries that touch the Mediterranean Sea. Cyprus is an island. Country है, but वो consider नहीं होगा. It is an island. It is obviously surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea. So remember, these are the 4 countries. Cyprus anyways is an island in the Mediterranean Sea. Silt. Silt बहुत आसान है याद रखना because this is a geographical term. Silt मतलब deposits made by river. So आप बाद में भी पढ़ोगे, कुछ लोगों ने पढ़ा भी होगा that कोलकाता port suffers from silting. Desilting करना पड़ता है. So silt मतलब very very fine deposits made by the river. Silt is also a shortcut to remember the countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea. Asian countries, European countries अलग है, African अलग है. And remember इनका capital also. In the same map of Turkey, you will find here Lake Van Golu. Van Golu. Golu means lake in Turkish language. So Lake Van है ये. So Lake Van is the lake having highest salinity in the world. Second number पे है Dead Sea. So which is the lake that is having highest salinity? Is the Lake Van. जब वो इसलिए कि हम Lake Van को consider ही नहीं करते. So वो wrong है factual information. Yeah, Lake Van also. And if you look at the 11th standard NCERT, Lake Van Golu number 1 पे ही दिया है. Then is the Dead Sea. Then is the Red Sea. हाँ, Oceanography chapter. Far from? तो इक्वेटर पे कभी भी salinity नहीं मिलेगी. Deserts are never in the equatorial region. Deserts are always far from equator. राजस्थान is far from equator. इक्वेटर रीजन में बारिश गर्मी बहुत ज़्यादा है पर बारिश भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. सो इसलिए कभी भी डेजर्ट्स नहीं होंगे. डेजर्ट्स हमेशा सब ट्रॉपिकल हाई प्रेशर बेल्ट में होगा. अब क्यों होगा? क्लाइमेटोलॉजी. हमेशा याद रखना, डेजर्ट्स आर ऑलवेज फाउंड इन वन बेल्ट दैट इज बिटवीन 25 डिग्री नॉर्थ टू 35 डिग्री नॉर्थ. दे आर नेवर फाउंड नियर द इक्वेटोरियल रीजन्स. इक्वेटोरियल रीजन्स में हमेशा रोज बारिश होगी 4 बजे, इसलिए उसको कहते हैं 4 o'clock रेनफॉल. इट इज एन एवरीडे फिनोमिना इन द इक्वेटोरियल रीजन. 4 o'clock रेनफॉल, इसलिए वहाँ पे बहुत घना जंगल है. दैट इज ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट. एग्जाम्पल इज अमेजॉन फॉरेस्ट, एग्जाम्पल इज कॉन्गो बेसिन, एग्जाम्पल इज केरला, गॉड्स ओन कंट्री. सम पार्ट लाइज इन द इक्वेटोरियल रीजन. एग्जाम्पल इज अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड. एग्जाम्पल इज इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, सिंगापुर. दिस इज व्हाट इज द इक्वेटोरियल रीजन. डेजर्ट्स हमेशा इक्वेटर से दूर होंगे. ये क्लाइमेटोलॉजी का पार्ट है, डायनामिक्स की गर्मी सबसे ज्यादा है इक्वेटर पे, पर डेजर्ट्स है किसी और रीजन पे, वाई? सो दैट इज एन टॉपिक इन इटसेल्फ. So remember, these are the 4 countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea, Asian countries. This has been your past year question also twice. One was last year itself. So if you remember silt, वहाँ पे दूसरा ऑप्शन था जॉर्डन. Let any question come, any other country come, it does not fit in our this thing. सीरिया का कैपिटल, सीरिया का कौन सा सिटी इज इन द न्यूज फाइटिंग? एलेप्पो. फाइन, सीरिया का एलेप्पो, रिमेंबर इट इज इन द न्यूज. व्हाट इज द कैपिटल ऑफ इजराइल? The capital of Israel is Jerusalem, not Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is where the government sits. Capital of Israel is Jerusalem. प्रॉब्लम यही तो है, जेरूसलम, इजराइल कहता है हमारा कैपिटल, पैलेस्टाइन कहता है हमारा कैपिटल. द फाइट इज फॉर जेरूसलम. सो टेल अवीव, इजराइल नेवर सेज टेल अवीव इज आवर कैपिटल. इजराइल का ऑफिशियल कैपिटल इज जेरूसलम. हाँ, तो इसलिए तो विवाद चल रहा है वहाँ पे. What is officially Israel says? What is उसका कैपिटल? यूएन ने कुछ भी कहने दो, यूएन कहता है कश्मीर इज डिस्प्यूटेड. सो इंडिया कहता है नहीं, कश्मीर इज आवर पार्ट. पाकिस्तान कहता है नहीं, वो आज़ाद कश्मीर है. सो यूएन कुछ भी कहने दो. यू सी द मैप ऑफ इंडिया इन द पाकिस्तानी टेक्स्ट बुक्स. सर गायब है. You see the map of India in United Nations, वहाँ पे रेड लाइन है, डिस्प्यूटेड टेरिटरी. यू सी द मैप ऑफ इंडिया इन इंडिया. सो हम तो ऑफिशियली जिस कंट्री का है उसको फॉलो करते हैं. Israel has not changed. But see, yeah, United Nations is doing that, but does United Nations really has power? It is not recognized, but Israel claims it to be a capital. My work is only to tell you that it is a capital. पॉलिटी में आप करोगे यूनाइटेड नेशंस, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन, और मैम बताएगी वेदर यूनाइटेड नेशंस इज. डे बिफोर यस्टरडे इवन कोफी अन्नान डाइड. See, Kofi Annan, जब there was a super cyclone of Orissa, the United Nations, I am telling you what the strength of United Nations is. United Nations, Kofi Annan wanted to come to Orissa. He started, India ने declare किया कि Kofi Annan should manage his own business. He is not welcomed in India because it will reduce our disaster management का speed. Kofi Annan नहीं आ पाया इंडिया में. हर कंट्री की सॉवरेनिटी इज फर्स्ट एंड देन कम्स यूनाइटेड नेशंस. इतना याद रखना. स्पेशली यूएस के खिलाफ नहीं जाएगा यूनाइटेड नेशंस. यही प्रॉब्लम, यही डिफरेंस है बिटवीन यूनाइटेड नेशंस एंड डब्ल्यूटीओ. डब्ल्यूटीओ इज मच मोर पावरफुल दैन यूनाइटेड नेशंस, क्योंकि डब्ल्यूटीओ में वो उसकी बात कोई नहीं रोक सकता बिकॉज इट इज एसोसिएटेड विद ट्रेड. यूनाइटेड नेशंस की बात हर कोई टाल सकता है. दैट इज अ टॉपिक इन योर जीएस, रिफॉर्म्स इन यूनाइटेड नेशंस. That is a part of Indian foreign policy. Correct answer will be capital of Israel, Jerusalem. That is an correct answer, unless we do not change the stance. Tel Aviv is the seat of government. So, India का तो will keep on changing as per the needs. अभी US के पास हम है, and we want to maintain the proper friendly relation also with the other countries, हम vote करेंगे और indirectly support करेंगे. So you can see India voted against it, but Prime Minister goes and visits Israel, does not go to Palestine. So ये तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं in international diplomacy, and this is as per the needs of a country. It has no emotional connect, except it is France and Russia. France and Russia are only emotionally connected to India. Baki countries, the relation keeps on changing as per the needs of the.
So like you said in the previous talk that Mount K2 is the highest peak of India, but still it is in a disputed territory. So
So
similarly, Jerusalem
is the capital of Israel. So अगर question आता है तो जेरूसलम का capital है इजराइल. Sorry, इजराइल का capital है जेरूसलम. Second example of Rift Valley. Is the Rhine Rift Valley. So Rhine Rift Valley, you note down, Rhine Rift Valley is the most well defined rift valley. Rhine Rift Valley is the most well defined rift valley lying between Vosges mountain of France. Rhine Rift Valley is the most well defined rift valley. Well defined means most studied rift valley lying between Vosges mountains of France and Black Forest mountains of Germany. So कल अगर क्वेश्चन आता है Vosges and Black Forest are what? They are block mountains. इसलिए the word is horst, क्योंकि सबसे पहले रिफ्ट वैली यहाँ स्टडी की गई थी. जर्मन वर्ड्स एंड ग्रेबन, इन दोनों के बीच रिवर राइन इज फ्लोइंग. It is the most well-defined rift valley lying between the Vosges and the Black Forest mountains. Vosges mountains of France and the Black Forest mountains of Germany. अब कभी-कभी क्वेश्चन आएगा which river lies in the rift valley. They will give you an option of Rhine also. They will give you an option of Rhone also. So be very careful while answering this. Confusion है तो जिसमें I है उसी में rift है. दोनों में I कॉमन है. रोन में I है नहीं है, so इसमें रिफ्ट वैली नहीं है. So this is how in the examination try to remember with the help of shortcuts. राइन कहाँ जाती है? ऊपर की तरफ. रोन डाउन इन द मेडिटरेनियन सी. We have in our syllabus food processing industry. Food processing industry. Food processing industry is more developed in the France, Europe, etc. That is in the developed nations. India में आजकल the food processing industry has come because food processing industry is tertiary sector या it is a secondary sector. It is not a primary sector because in the food processing industry there is always a value addition for profit. There is always use of science and technology for increasing the shelf life. The primary products are not sold. They will do some value addition and they will sell a secondary product at a higher market price. They will not sell you aloo for 1 rupee. They will cut that same aloo, garnish it, package it and sell it at 10 rupees in the name of Lay's, in the name of any chips. That is what is the food processing industry. They will not sell you milk. They will sell you ice cream. They will sell you milk powder. Nestle. So remember, the food processing industry is best developed in the Rhine Valley region. Food processing industry यहाँ से शुरू हुई है. And therefore, because यहाँ पे milk production is so high, the milk they do not sell. They make the value added products of milk. For example, Switzerland is known for chocolates, Swiss chocolates. So similarly, you have a pastry by this name, Black Forest. And because it was first made in this region, Black Forest Mountains, इसलिए the name of that pastry is the Black Forest. That is a food processing industry, value addition. So you may go to Duke's Cafe and buy that for maybe 70 rupees, 80 rupees. I don't know what is the price now. मेरे समय 15 रुपया था. So inflation over the period has increased. So that is a food processing industry. And we are also trying to get into food processing industry Sampada scheme, agro marketing scheme, so that horticulture, National Bamboo Mission, tea, you can see how we are trying to increase the farmers' income by food processing industry. So पहले सिर्फ चाय आता था, अब there is flavored tea which is coming, there is a cinnamon tea which is coming. So that is the benefit of an food processing industry. ये याद रखना, it is first developed in the Rhine region, food processing industry. Rhone region में भी है food processing industry. They do not sell you grapes, they will sell you wine. So viticulture is best developed even in the European region. Napa Valley there, not here. It's in the New England region. Why Napa Valley? The best region famous for wine is Rhone, France. Third example of a rift valley. Lake Baikal. Which country? Russia. It is the deepest lake of world and largest freshwater lake. Let me complete. By volume. By volume of water, it is the largest freshwater lake. By volume of water मतलब जितना पानी है उसमें, it is the largest. Superior is the largest freshwater lake by size. This is by volume. 20% of world's fresh water is in this lake, the large lake Baikal. Outside अगर polar regions के बाहर ice caps में अगर नहीं है, हमारे पास सिर्फ 3% है पानी फ्रेश वाटर, बाकी पूरा इज द सलाइन वाटर. सो 3% में से 2.7% इज इन द आइस कैप्स एंड ग्लेशियर्स. उसके बाद इज इन द ग्राउंड वाटर, उसके बाद इज इन द लेक्स, उसके बाद इज इन द tissues of animals and plants, and the least amount of fresh water in the world is in rivers. Remember, rivers have just 0.003% of the fresh water in the world. So this has one of the largest amount of fresh water in the molten format, not in the solid format. That is the not in the frozen format. This is the Lake Baikal. Also it is the deepest lake by volume. अब इतना डिटेल में भी यूपीएससी कभी कभी जाती नहीं है, बट दे हैव आस्क्ड एन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन कि कौन सा लेक हैड ड्राइड अप इमेंसली ड्यू टू ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज. सो उसमें अरालसी भी था, लेक बाइकाल भी था. सो द आंसर वहाँ पे इज अरालसी ओनली, बिकॉज लेक बाइकाल इज ड्राइंग अप. तो हर लेक इज ऑल्सो, इवन लेक चिल्का इज ड्राइंग अप, बट क्वेश्चन में एडजेक्टिव था इमेंसली. सो इट इज नॉट इमेंसली ड्राइड अप, इट हैज श्रंक बाय ओनली 2%, unlike Aralsi which has shrunk by 75%. Riparian buffer is any water body. We'll come to riparian buffer with the topic. The fourth example is Lake Balkash. The fourth example is Lake Balkash. And now open the map of Asia. सबसे पहले you can look even in the political map. You will see Mongolia के just ऊपर there is an which lake? Lake Baikal, and see उसका shape of a Lake Baikal. Elongated है, that says that it is an example of an Rift Valley lake. मिला लेक बाइकाल? एवरीवन? याद रखना all this locations etc. They can ask you any of this question that Lake Baikal is located between Mongolia and Russia. True or false? Or Lake Baikal is totally in Russia? Totally in Russia. बहुत ही simple question आते हैं because we do not revise it properly. हमें लगता है नहीं, वहाँ पे हम confuse हो जाते हैं. शायद हो सकता है मंगोलिया में थोड़ा part touch करता होगा. And this is how we commit silly mistakes in the exam. So जो भी हमारा we are doing the important questions, important maps, locate them in the map very very properly. Political map भी देखो. So where you will find Lake Balkash? उसी map में. You will find in Kazakhstan there is an lake, Lake Balkash. पूरा कजाकिस्तान में या going into some other country then? पूरा कजाकिस्तान में. Then there is some other water body that is located between two countries, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. What is the name of a sea? Aral Sea. You can see Aral Sea is located between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Mila Aral Sea? And Oxford, look at the photo. I guess I have told you already this photo. This is how the Aral Sea has shrunk due to human activities. This is the satellite image of how we have degraded the Aral Sea. Aral Sea will be lost unless we do not conserve it. And why? Interlinking of the rivers in Russia. And this is the impact of the Aral Sea. So one small work I am asking you, tell me which are the two rivers that drain into the Aral Sea. So here it is written, Amu Darya and Sir Darya are the two rivers that drain into the Aral Sea. इतनी सारी rivers है, बाकी की मत करना. Only these two rivers, Amu Darya and Sir Darya. That drains into the Aral Sea. Riparian buffer will come to in environment and ecology. मैंने just example दिया. नहीं, these are not riparian buffers. Amu Darya and Sir Darya. So can I say Amu Darya forms a boundary between China and Russia? It forms a boundary between China and Russia? No. So identify which river forms a boundary between China and Russia. Look at the eastern side of Russia and China. Tamur nahi, Amur river forms a boundary between Russia and China. Amur river forms a boundary between Russia and China. River Amur forms a boundary between Russia and China. इसी के ऊपर अभी dispute चल रहा है. So that is why Amur river is important. And see, applied question will be So what is the answer? It is a natural boundary. Superimpose मतलब जो जबरदस्ती बनाई गई है. So this is more of an example of a natural boundary, because बाकी का भी boundary is an hilly region. It is a natural boundary only. So that are the Rift Valley lakes of the world. Fine with this? No. Look at the shape of Aral Sea. So it is not a Rift Valley. Rift Valley identify करना है. Look at the shape. It should be elongated one. Rift Valley in India. So you take down two parts here. In India, Vindhyas and Satpuras are an example of block mountains. While river Narmada flows through a rift valley, after originating from Amarkantak Plateau, and flows between Vindhyas and Satpuras. River Tapi is another river. River Tapi, sorry, not write another river, flows through a rift valley to the south of Satpuras. After originating from Multai. Multai is the name of a place. After originating from Multai. Satpura. After originating from Multai. दोनों कहाँ पे? MP में. Last point. The other important rivers which flow through Rift Valley are River Son, other important river which flows through the Rift Valley are River Son and River Damodar. River Son and River Damodar. Son किसकी ट्रिब्यूटरी है? गंगा की. And Damodar is a tributary of Ganga. Starts from here, goes, River Son joins it near Patna, and then Ganga breaks into numerous parts. So one name of Ganga is River Hooghly. जिसकी ट्रिब्यूटरी इज रिवर दामोदर. सो रिमेंबर सोन एंड दामोदर आर बोथ द ट्रिब्यूटरीज ऑफ रिवर गंगा. सो इंडिया में 4 रिवर्स है which flow through the Rift Valley, and the most important are नर्मदा, उसके बाद तापी, उसके बाद सोन, उसके बाद दामोदर. नर्मदा, तापी, सोन एंड दामोदर. So which is this region they are talking about? A region has, in India, has the origin of 2 different river systems, rivers, drainage systems. One river flows towards the Arabian Sea and the other is flowing towards the Bay of Bengal. कौन सी 2 rivers की बात कर रहे हैं? नर्मदा एंड तापी की या नर्मदा एंड सोन की? They are talking about this river, that is Narmada, and other river, that is Son. They are not talking about Tapi.
Tapi doesn't go into drain into Arabian Sea.
It is draining into the Arabian Sea. But you see what is the question? A region जहाँ से और both the rivers originate, it has to be a single place, and both are flowing in 2 different directions. So what is the answer for this? Answer for this is and which 2 rivers they are talking about? They are talking about Narmada and Son. In fact, we will come to Amarkantak again and again. One of the favorite questions of UPSC is Amarkantak Plateau. Also important because this is the most important biosphere reserve in India. Densely forested है ये. Madhya Pradesh has the largest area under forest in India. यहाँ का forest is the teakwood forest, which is an example of an deciduous forest. Madhya Pradesh का teakwood is considered to be the best in the world. So, which is the largest exporter of teakwood? I'll keep on telling these facts again and again so that it goes in your mind here. The largest exporter of teakwood in the world is Burma. Why? Because uska teakwood is slightly cheaper than the Madhya Pradesh ka teakwood. The reason is Madhya Pradesh ka teakwood is so best in the world कि average life of furniture of MP ka teakwood is 400 to 700 years. The average life of furniture of Burma ka teakwood is 150 years. Average life of furniture of plywood is 2 to 5 years. You can see the difference. So plywood, teakwood क्या difference? So teakwood हमेशा, this is not obviously door क्योंकि ये घर का नहीं है, चोरी क्या करेंगे यहाँ पे, but अगर ये घर का होता तो this would have been a teakwood. बाकी कुछ teakwood का नहीं होता घर में. So teakwood is so durable wood, and therefore, and India has one of the largest area under teakwood in the world. That is, we have the best quality of teakwood in the world, and uska Satpuras are famous for teakwood. Remember, Narmada is originating through Satpura, not through Vindhyas. Satpuras are famous for teakwood, deciduous forest, and therefore deciduous forest matlab Satpuras are famous for tigers. It has one of the largest density of tigers anywhere in the world in Satpura region, and इसीलिए Nagpur is the tiger capital of India. इतने ज़्यादा टाइगर है इन द अमरकंटक रीजन कि यहाँ के बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व का नाम है अचानक मर, अमरकंटक बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व. अचानक मर because tigers can attack you any time. So that is why the name is Achanak Mar Amarkantak Biosphere Reserve. We'll come to ये UNESCO World Heritage Site है. So the tigers, and recently videos भी आए थे that if you, I don't know whether you are preparing during the month of June, just before June, May, he construction workers tiffin खा रहे हैं, tiger came and took their tiffin. उसके बाद 2 people are riding on the bike. That was a famously circulated video. A tiger came, stopped in their path. अब वो local थे, they knew how to react. Before they could turn, पीछे से another tigress came and stopped in their path. So their way was blocked. Now because they were local, they became still. उन्होंने कुछ होशियारी नहीं की, extra smartest नहीं किया. Tiger came, sniffed them, जैसे आपका pet dog sniff करता है, ऊपर से नीचे तक. Not interested, went away. So the reason is because tiger does not kill without a reason. Tiger will kill only if it is hungry or if it is irritated. Tiger will not kill without a reason. You will stand near the tiger, and if you stand still and if it is not hungry, it will not be interested in you. You see the attitude of tiger in the national parks. It is not even interested in tourists. So on other hand, bear, भालू kills without a reason. This is the two difference. ये फिर से हम use करेंगे इसको man animal conflict in the environment ecology. This is a tiger, lions, these big cats do not kill without a reason. But bear is an animal which will kill without a reason. So this is the misconception we are having. We think that Narmada and Tapi are only flowing through Rift Valley. No, there are 4 rivers: Narmada, Tapi, Son and Damodar. These are the 4 rivers which flow through the Rift Valley. One last addition there. While Narmada and Tapi entirely flow through Rift Valley, Son and Damodar in their initial path only, flow through a rift valley. Narmada and Vindhyas, Narmada and Tapi इतनी important नहीं है rivers from our economics point of view, but Damodar is very, very important because Damodar has most of the coal fields of India. So open the first map of India, India physical, and just have a look at it. हम ये map बाद में भी वैसे detail में करेंगे. Just have a look at it. You can see Vindhyas continuously given. Physical map of India, page number 10, Oxford Student Atlas. Vindhyas is given. Vindhyas का ही extension बिहार में is known as कैमूर. आपको वहाँ पे कैमूर भी मिलेगा, right? उसके बाद सतपुरा क्यों है? Because it is the 7 different mountains. So Satpura is 7 different mountains, जिसमें से most important mountains है महादेव ranges. वहाँ पे लिखा होगा कहीं तो महादेव ranges. और last part जहाँ पे खत्म होता है सतपुरा, this region is Maikal Hills. मिला होगा Maikal Hills. Maikal Range, Maikal Hills. This is also Satpuras. So 7 different है, Mahadev, Maikal, etc. Maikal is famous for which plateau? Amarkantak plateau region. Maikal का hill station is Amarkantak. सो गेटिंग इट, हम फिर से व्हेन विल डू द इंडियन ज्योग्राफी हम उसमें से 3 रेंज याद करेंगे एंड विल डू कि कौन सा हाईएस्ट पीक है, कौन सी रिवर्स एग्जैक्टली कहाँ से ओरिजिनेट होती है. And you, as of now, you remember Satpura is very very different from Satmala. Satpura के बहुत नीचे आपको सतमाला मिलेगा. So don't confuse Satpura and Satmala. This has been your 2015 का question. They had given Satmala and आगे state दिया था गुजरात. And they had asked you which of them is not correctly matched. So Satmala is not Gujarat. It is Maharashtra. Satpura is Gujarat. It forms a boundary between Gujarat, Maharashtra, Gujarat, MP. So, Madhya Pradesh, MP also. So, Satmala and Satpura, don't confuse it. Sat means 7, Puda means mountain. So, series of 7 mountains, इसलिए Satpura.
So, Satmala is entirely in Maharashtra?
Yes. So that is the end of folding and faulting. Any doubts in this? So this are some of the, this is how the topics of volcanoes is. एक basic बहुत ही, what is the difference between volcanoes and volcanism. उसके बाद क्या आता है volcano में से बाहर, that is the, what you mean by volcanic eruption, that is the constituent of an volcanic eruption. उसके बाद how many types of volcanic eruptions are there and उनका impact क्या है, that is, this is nothing but an associated landforms. Landforms commonly come in the preliminary examination. You must have seen past year questions, Phacolith, Lopolith, Lapolith. These are all volcanic landforms. उसके बाद mechanism of volcanoes, which you already know. What is the volcanoes का mechanism? Plate tectonics. It can be explained by plate tectonics. दो type of movement, convergent movement, violent volcanic eruptions. Divergent movement, fissure kind of an volcanic eruptions. World distribution of volcanoes, again nothing but an plate tectonics का an example. सबसे number 1 Pacific Ring of Fire, number 2 mid continental belt, number 3 mid oceanic belt. This is what is the world distribution of volcanoes. That is, it is nothing but an application of plate tectonics. Now first we'll see what is the difference between volcanism and volcanoes. See, the words are different. Volcanism में U is there. So what is your idea of volcano? When I say volcano, तो क्या दिमाग में आता है? Magma or lava is coming up, erupted. So आपके दिमाग में क्या ना, say only thing that comes out is eruption. That is an volcano. So volcano is an eruption, but that eruption does not takes place instantly. उसके लिए there has to be processes which is going on, and the process is high heat in the interior, melting of plates. Due to the melting of plates, the convectional currents, As the convectional currents rise up, they bring the magma. Then that's magma depending upon uska flow kya hai, whether it is viscous magma or whether it is fluidic magma. Fluidic matlab it can easily come out through cracks. Viscous matlab it will come very slowly. So we will have two types of eruption: violent volcanic eruptions, या fissure kind of volcanic eruptions. After that, that magma will come out and it will cool, and when it will cool, it will form landforms. So ये जो जितना process है of causes of volcano, studies of volcano, and the landforms that are caused by volcano is what is known as an volcanism. Volcanism. So actually, literally, the word which what should be in our topic is volcanism. Volcano matlab just an eruption, but the process which is there associated, ये पूरा both endogenetic, क्या हो रहा है inside the earth, as well as exogenetic, what is happening outside the earth, that is the formation of volcanic plateaus, plains, mountains, that is volcanism. Volcano is just a vent. So can I say volcanism is a process, while volcano is just an expression of that process in the form of eruption? So what is more important is the process, and process matlab जिसमें there is something going on, input and output is something different. So that is what we mean by a process. क्या mechanism है? So volcanism is an mechanism. So take down two lines here. A volcano is a vent. Volcano is a vent. V-E-N-T, vent. Or an opening. Or an opening on the surface of the earth. On the surface of the earth, through which the molten rock material is thrown out, full stop. But the entire process, which includes melting of rocks due to high heat in the interior of the earth, comma, the rising up of convectional currents, comma, explosion in the form of volcano, and the solidification of magma and lava to give rise to intrusive and extrusive landforms, respectively. Why respectively? Because magma will give rise to landforms inside the earth, so intrusive. Lava will give rise to landforms outside the earth, so extrusive, respectively. Is known as volcanism. is known as volcanism. Thus, volcanism includes both endogenetic and exogenetic processes. Volcanism includes both endogenetic and exogenetic processes. So understood the difference between volcanism and volcano. So कल अगर prelims में question आता है the entire process which includes x y z कुछ भी दे सकते हैं वो. So what will be the answer, volcano or volcanism? Volcanism. So अगर keyword and question में ढूंढना entire, अगर entire है या whole है then the answer is volcanism. अगर सिर्फ है explosion तो answer is volcano. इसका मतलब है what exactly comes out of volcano, volcanic eruption. So what comes out through volcanic eruption? Gases, do they come out? Water vapor, does it come out? Yes. Lava, is it magma or lava? That is, even if there is an underground volcanic eruption, magma or lava. And can I say ash comes out, broken rock fragments comes out. So there are three constituents of volcanic eruption. One is water vapor and gases. Second is magma or lava. So you can use this word now interchangeably. And the third is pyroclastic material. This is the technical word. Pyro means force, mechanical force. Or in simple layman's language, this is no plastic. This is clastic. Plastic. Plastic, elastic, clastic, totally different. Clastic मतलब force, mechanical force. Pyroclastic means mechanical force. So these are the three constituents of volcano. इसमें से सबसे important कौन सा है? Magma and or lava. So we'll take down first water vapor and gases. This is the most important constituent. This is the most water vapor and gases. That is our misconception. ज़रूरी नहीं कि there in volcano magma or lava will come out. They may come out or lava may come out or it may solidify inside as magma. But what is most important is the water vapor and gases. We'll do that. We are going to do this landforms. So water vapor and gases, they are the most important constituent and they account for around 60% of volcanic eruption. They account for around 60% of materials erupted during the volcano. 60% of materials erupted during the volcano. Water comes out in the form of superheated steam. Water vapor comes out in the form of superheated steam. Water vapor comes out in the form of superheated steam. And the most important gases are, can anyone tell me the gases? The most important gases are sulfur oxides, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxides, and CH4, that is methane. Sulfur oxides, SOX, nitrous oxides, SOX. It can be nitrous dioxide, nitrous monoxide, so nitrous oxides. So sulfur, carbon, nitrogen, even some amount of hydrogen also can come, hydrocarbons also can come, but in this सबसे important is what? Sulfur dioxide. Okay. Now no need of writing it, but you tell me sulfur dioxide न्यूज में क्यों है बार बार? It is an pollutant. तो इससे क्या होता है? Acid rain. It is in the news because of, yeah, blackening of Taj. क्यों आगरा में? Because it is surrounded by industries. So हमेशा इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन में याद रखना सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड इज गिवन. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड क्यों होता है न्यूज में? इज इट अ पोल्यूटेंट? आई एम आस्किंग यू, इज कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड अ पोल्यूटेंट? Are you choking inside the room abhi? But you are releasing carbon dioxide through respiration and taking in oxygen. So pollution हो रहा है room में. Carbon dioxide is not a pollutant. It is just a greenhouse gas. कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड कहां से निकलता है? Smoke. That is, can I say it is pollutant? Yes. It is one of the most dangerous pollutant which can displace the oxygen from the blood and take its place. It has a very high binding capacity. That is it is again a pollutant. Again it is a greenhouse gas. Sulfur oxide is also a greenhouse gas. याद रखना. Nitrous oxides कहाँ से निकलते हैं? Is it a pollutant? Diesel vehicles, याद रखना, it is nitrous oxide is one of the major pollutant. Industries अगर pollution कर रही है तो most important will be sulfur oxide. Vehicles अगर pollution कर रहा है तो it is nitrous oxide. Which is more dangerous? Nitrous oxide is more dangerous. Again, so both nitrous oxides and sulfur dioxide will result into acid rainfall. And methane, it is again a greenhouse gas. Water vapor, it is again a ग्रीन हाउस गैस. वाटर वेपर इज अ ग्रीन हाउस गैस. दैट इज अगर ह्यूमिडिटी बढ़ जाती है तो गर्मी बढ़ती है. अगर बादल है, दैट इज नथिंग बट अ कलेक्शन ऑफ वाटर वेपर, देन यू फील हॉट, warm. Why? Because any gas which is going to trap the heat is a greenhouse gas. So water vapor traps the heat. Sulfur oxides trap the heat. Carbon dioxide is going to trap the heat. In fact, we have increased the carbon dioxide to such an extent that it has resulted into global warming. The carbon monoxide is a pollutant again, as well as a greenhouse gas. Nitrous oxides is a major pollutant. Nitrous oxides are also responsible for depletion of ozone hole to certain extent. And methane is a greenhouse gas given in natural environment through volcanoes and rice fields. जहाँ जहाँ anaerobic respiration है, methane gas will be given out. So with this background, अगर कल क्वेश्चन आता है, does volcanic eruption results into natural climate change? That is why I had given you this. Yes or no? Yes. अगर volcanic eruption, does it result into the pollution? Yes. Does it result into acid rainfall? Yes. So याद रखना, जब भी climate change की हम बात करेंगे, just don't start your answer with human induced climate change. Climate change was a natural phenomena. We have just increased उसका speed because climate change has occurred in the past due to the this thing, due to the pollutants, due to the volcanic eruptions. Fine with this? If tomorrow question comes, acid rainfall, volcanic eruption, yes. Climate change, volcanic eruptions, yes. Global warming, volcanic eruptions, yes. So these are the natural causes of global warming or climate change or pollution. So don't have just a human induced climate change. Fine with this? आगरा में नहीं है, आगरा के सराउंडिंग में there are numerous industries. आगरा के आउटसाइड रीजन में there are numerous industries here. Now coming to this is where what is important from geography point of view, magma or lava. So next is magma or lava. It is divided into two types. Now understand here. You can use any word. I will use the word acidic magma. And the other is basic magma or basic lava. So the magma or lava is divided into two types, acidic and basic. Now why acidic? Because it has higher concentration of silica. But less iron, and therefore it is acidic. It has higher concentration of silica and less iron. Now silica मतलब कौन सा कलर होगा, lighter or darker? Lighter. So it is lighter in color. उसका physical property very simple to understand. It is highly viscous. Viscous matlab thick. It is highly thick, and because it is highly thick, it will not flow for a longer distance and solidify. So if this is an volcanic eruption which is coming out, most of this acidic magma will solidify. If this is 0 kilometers, that is the earth, and uske niche this is the interior of the earth, and that is the outside part of the earth. Most of the acidic magma or lava will solidify inside only before reaching the surface. In case अगर नीचे से pressure बहुत ज़्यादा है, it will flow for a smaller distance, solidify. Flow for a smaller distance, solidify. So the pressure will build up to such an extent कि अब अगर magma को has to come out, it has to blow the top because this has entirely been solidified. So it will result into violent volcanic eruptions, and after coming up, it will flow for a shorter distance, quickly solidify. Then next layer for a shorter distance, solidify. So over the period of time, layer upon layer will be built up, and it will result into formation of volcanic mountains. So it is highly viscous, therefore flows only for shorter distance before solidifying. Before solidifying. Now, why it is highly viscous? It is highly viscous because it is made up of minerals or materials. दोनों में molten rocks है. It is made up of minerals, उसमें rocks में, which have very high melting point. इतना ज़्यादा melting point है, that is very high melting point means the temperature required for melting this many materials is very high. उतना high temperature is not reached inside the interior of the earth. उनका melting point is maybe even greater than 6000 degree Celsius. So they are in the viscous state. अगर melting point low होता तो they would have been in the liquid state and they would have easily flown. So acidic lava or magma, then can I say they are generally associated with such as volcanic mountains, elevated landforms or greater height का landforms such as volcanic mountains. An example of acidic magma is solidify होने के बाद granite. तो वायलेंट इरप्शन कब होगा? अगर स्पीड ज़्यादा है तो इट कैन इजीली कम आउट थ्रू क्रैक. सो व्हाई इट नीड्स टू इरप्ट वायलेंटली? इट इज इरप्टिंग वायलेंटली बिकॉज इट कैनॉट एस्केप थ्रू क्रैक्स. So that is what, melting point is very high, therefore they are not in the molten state. Because they are not in the molten state, that means they are in the semi-solid or semi-molten state. As a result, because they are thicker, they cannot come through the cracks. Because they cannot come through the cracks, they will have to remove the top which is there, and remove the top is always by the explosive volcanic eruption. Getting this? Any doubts here? See, you just have to remember एक point, उसके बाद सब continuation है कि इसमें सिलिका ज़्यादा है. सिलिका ज़्यादा है तो it is lighter in color. फिर it is highly viscous. Highly viscous है, therefore it will cool very slowly. Why it is highly viscous? Because इसका melting point is very high. So the temperature has not yet reached. So therefore it is associated with violent eruptions and elevated landforms such as mountains. So stone जो बनता है after the acidic magma or lava is granite. So I had asked you to look at the granite metro station पे. What is the color? Dominant color? White. कौन से metro station पे it's green in color?
metro station. So on kitchens also or dining table also we sometimes we put granite.
But the most common granite is white in color. So Nowadays kitchens etc. have Italian marble, that is an processed thing, उसमें color is added. So and kitchen में भी green color का कभी नहीं होगा, नहीं तो वो food items दिखेंगे गिरे हुए. So it has to be black in color. Actually kitchen में there is a Kadappa rock. So this is what is the granite. Now you should remember granite, और अगर नहीं देखा होगा तो आज जाके देखना. It will have crystals because I will require that part in the topic of rocks. Granite has very big crystals in it, blackish color and white color के crystals. Now basic magma. Why it is basic in nature? Because it has higher iron and less silica. It is higher iron and less silica. Now because of the presence of iron, it is more darker in color. Now out of all the possible magma and lava, this is hottest of all the magma or lava. You can use any of the word here. Because it is hottest, इसका temperature is very high. So what will be उसका state of matter? Liquid in form. Gaseous तो नहीं हो सकता इतना. It will be liquid in form. So it is fluidic. Viscous का exact opposite, fluidic in nature. That is, it flows quickly. And covers longer distance before solidifying. Before solidifying. Now suppose again this is a landform or imaginary landform, and these are the cracks that are present in the landform. So because this is fluidic, थोड़ा ही pressure बढ़ते, it will find a way through the cracks in the rocks, and छोटे से cracks से it will come out. After coming out, it will flow for a longer distance. Again, it will come out through whatever the cracks it is formed. So which kind of eruptions? Violent या fissure? So they are generally associated with fissure eruptions. And mountains या plateau? Plateaus. बोलो. It can also form plains, but more importantly plateaus. And इसका example जब वो solidify होता है, that is basalt. Yes. हाँ तो वैसे ही हो रहा है. फिशर मतलब क्रैक. बाहर निकलने के लिए उसको तो क्रैक चाहिए ना. What is the meaning of English word fissure? Fissure means crack. अब डाइवर्जेंट प्लेट बाउंड्री में क्रैक बनता है, इसलिए वो भी फिशर है. और नेचुरल अर्थ में भी जहाँ पे क्रैक्स है, दैट मीन्स फिशर ओनली. सो गो बाय द इंग्लिश वर्ड. फिशर मतलब क्या? क्रैक. सो फिशर इरप्शन मतलब क्या? It is easily coming out through cracks. ऐसा नहीं जरूरी कि सी फ्लोर स्प्रेडिंग में ही होगा फिशर इरप्शन, उधर भी क्रैक बनता है. बेसिक मैकेनिज्म तो वही है, वेदर इट इज एसिडिक और बेसिक, कन्वेक्शनल करंट से उसको ऊपर ले आएंगे. But whether it can come through the crack or whether it has to blow violently, that will be determined by the fluidity. So ये fluid है, it can come out through whatever cracks it is there. Or even if the cracks is not there, उसको violent eruption की ज़रूरत नहीं, it can just make a way by enlarging the gaps in the rocks. पर कैसे बढ़ रहा है? ब्लो करके. यहाँ पे ब्लो नहीं होगा. वो तो डिपेंड करेगा एक्सटर्नल एजेंट्स पे. कौन सा? हाँ, लैंडफॉर्म की स्टेबिलिटी डिपेंड्स अपॉन प्रोसेस, एक्सटर्नल एजेंट्स जो ऑपरेट हो रहे हैं एंड टाइम. ग्रेनाइट भी उतना ही स्टेबल हो सकता है और बसाल्ट भी उतना ही हो सकता है इफ द प्रोसेस इज रिवर और वाटर और एंड इफ द लैंडफॉर्म इज ओल्डर. Peninsular plateau is one of the most stable landmass in the world. क्यों? Because it is the oldest. So इसलिए we can make underground reservoirs. वेदरिंग किसी का भी हो सकता है. वेट, एनी अदर डाउट्स? ये समझ में आया? वो तो तीसरा है. सो कैन आई कंटिन्यू टू द थर्ड? वेदरिंग किसी का भी हो सकता है, वेदर इट इज डायमंड, वेदर इट इज ग्रेनाइट. इफ दिस इज मेड अप ऑफ ग्रेनाइट, यू पुट अ एसिड ऑन इट, वेदरिंग तो होगा ही. Not necessary. So even if it is found beneath the earth, folding, faulting will be occurring. They can be exposed by the removal of upper sedimentary layer. So wait for the external agents. Wait for the rocks. किसमें होता है? Most dominant is iron. मैग्नीशियम को हम कंसिडर नहीं कर. Now pyroclastic material means broken rock fragments that are thrown out during volcanic eruptions. अब ये broken rock fragments can be, even the surface rock can be broken, even the subsurface rock can be broken. It depends upon the intensity of erosion. देखो, हम जब साइलेंट या फिशर टाइप का इरप्शन कहते हैं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कुछ नहीं होगा, इजीली वो पानी के जैसे बाहर निकलेगा. थोड़ा बहुत वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन तो होगा ही, बट इट वोंट बी दैट वायलेंट कि द स्टोन्स विल बी थ्रोन हंड्रेड्स ऑफ किलोमीटर्स अपार्ट. अंडरस्टैंड? इट इज कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस. ऐसे नहीं साइलेंट मीन्स आप खड़े हो और बाजू से वॉल्केनो चुपचाप निकल के, ऐसे नहीं. इट विल बी ब्रोकन. सो it is thrown out during the volcanic eruptions. They consist of, not at all important, consist of volcanic ash, volcanic dust, volcanic bombs, and large stones. This is nothing but pebble. In geography, this is an arrangement as per size. Ash, very fine. Ash से थोड़ा coarse material is dust. डस्ट से थोड़ा कोर्स मटेरियल इज और थोड़ा बड़ा मटेरियल इज पेबल. पेबल से बड़ा इज स्टोन एंड स्टोन से बड़ा इज बाउल्डर. सो it is this material, pyroclastic material. What is volcanic bomb? Volcanic bombs are nothing but the stone particles that are thrown for several kilometers. Very hot, some of them may be having fire, and they are most dangerous. Why they are known as bombs? Because they are thrown several kilometers, they can land on a house and destroy a house. If they are finer, they can act as a bullet and kill a person by passing through any part of the body, and इसलिए they are known as volcanic bombs, जिससे people die. Iceland is fissure eruption, sea floor spreading. So fissure eruption में volcanic bombs तो सब नहीं होंगे. Secondly, आइसलैंड में इतना टेंशन नहीं है क्योंकि द पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी इज 3 पीपल पर स्क्वायर किलोमीटर. 3 लोग रहते हैं 1 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर किलोमीटर के एरिया. दैट इज एन एवरेज पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी. सो दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम इन आइसलैंड. पीपल कैन गो एंड सी. प्रॉब्लम इज जहाँ पे कन्वर्जन प्लेट बाउंड्री, वहाँ पे नोबडी विल गो एंड वॉच एन volcanic eruption. Divergent pe you can go also, they will go and study also to watch an volcanic eruption. And whenever the volcanic eruption is occurring, you go as a tourist. आप वहाँ पे नहीं जाते जहाँ से volcanic eruption आ रहा है, आप वहाँ पे जाते हो जहाँ पे आपको गाइड लेके जाता है, और वो गाइड ऐसे जगह लेके जाता है उसको पता है कि what will be the flow of lava. So वो flow of lava की थोड़ा दूर बाद यू गो एंड क्लिक द फोटोज कि हाँ चलो यू हैव एंजॉयड द लावा. यू डोंट गो लाइक साइंटिस्ट एग्जैक्टली एट द माउथ ऑफ अ क्रेटर एंड देन स्टडी कि व्हाट इज कमिंग आउट. फाइन विद दिस? सो दिस डाउट्स आर encouraging, good, but you should also remember simple thing. जैसे आप यू गो टू नेशनल पार्क, आप जाके टाइगर के अंदर इसमें नहीं जाते, आप गाड़ी में बैठते हैं एंड यू लेट द टाइगर कम आउट. एज अ टूरिस्ट डू यू गो इनसाइड कि जंगल के अंदर वेयर इज द टाइगर? नो. सो सेम अप्लाइज हियर. सो टूरिज्म इटसेल्फ इज एन डिफरेंट कंसेप्ट. नाउ व्हाट आई वांट हियर इज, अगेन दिस विल कॉज pollution. Can I say this will reduce the insolation? Insolation is the sun rays, because if a volcanic eruption is occurring in an area, the volcanic ash and dust which is released, it will block the sun rays. So remember, it will reduce the insolation also. Pleistocene ice age was caused due to large-scale volcanic eruption. There was so much dust in the sky, that is the sunlight was reduced, and therefore we had ice age on the earth, the latest ice age. Fine with this? ये क्या है? स्मोक या स्मॉग जैसा काम करता है ये. सो स्मॉग में देयर इज एन रिडक्शन ऑफ दिस थिंग. एंड याद रखना बाद में ये लिए जहाँ जहाँ वॉल्केनिक इरप्शंस है वहाँ पे रेनफॉल के चांसेस आर वेरी हाई, बिकॉज वाटर वेपर इज गिवन आउट, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज गिवन आउट, एंड द स्मॉलर पार्टिकल्स आर गिवन आउट. दिस स्मॉलर पार्टिकल्स विल एक्ट एज हाइग्रोस्कोपिक न्यूक्लियाई, मतलब अ न्यूक्लियस जिसके ऊपर क्लाउड्स विल बी फॉर्म्ड. यू विल कम टू दैट अगेन इन द क्लाइमेटोलॉजी पार्ट. सो विल रिक्वायर दिस इन द क्लाइमेटोलॉजी का पार्ट. Hotspots. Volcanic landforms. We'll classify the volcanic landforms into two types. That is extrusive, means on the surface of the earth, and the other is intrusive. That is below the earth's surface. Below the earth's surface. Intrusive and extrusive. First we'll start with intrusive landforms. अब इंट्रूसिव लैंडफॉर्म्स में कौन सा ज़्यादा डोमिनेंट मैग्मा होगा? इट कैन बी फॉर्म ड्यू टू बसाल्ट एज वेल एज ग्रेनाइट, बट कौन सा है विच कैनॉट फ्लो फॉर अ लॉन्गर डिस्टेंस एंड देयरफॉर इट इज ट्रैप्ड बिलो द सरफेस ऑफ अर्थ? ग्रेनाइट. सो मोस्टली इंट्रूसिव लैंडफॉर्म्स आर ग्रेनाइटिक इन नेचर. So draw this diagram with me. So what are these layers? These layers are nothing but sedimentary rocks, and the sedimentary rocks are always arranged in layers. Why they are always arranged in layers? Sedimentary rocks are formed due to, that is the breaking down of sediments. फिर वो collect हो जाएंगे, and over the period of time they will be compacted to form a rock. For example, you take a powder, आटा, उसको कॉम्पैक्ट प्रेशर लगाओ, वो थोड़ा सॉलिड बन जाएगा. सो दैट विल बिकम अ रॉक. सो वेन एवर दिस सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स, जब सेडिमेंट्स वेर ब्रोकन इन द एंशियंट पीरियड, सेडिमेंट्री रॉक, उसके बाद ड्यू टू सम रीजन सेडिमेंट्स वेर ब्रोकन, उसके बाद ड्यू टू सम रीजन द सेडिमेंट्स वेर ब्रोकन. द सेडिमेंट का ब्रेकिंग प्रोसेस इज ऑकरिंग इवन टुडे. इट विल ऑकर इवन राइट नाउ. सपोज जैसे अभी फ्लड आता है और एनी डिजास्टर हैपेंस एंड वी गेट ऑल बरीड, सो हमारे ऊपर और एक लेयर. सो द सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स आर ऑलवेज अरेंज्ड इन पैरेलल लेयर्स, एंड दिस इज व्हाट इज नोन एज एन बेडिंग प्लेन्स ऑफ द सेडिमेंट्री रॉक. ये सब अभी मत लिखना, वी विल राइट द सेम थिंग इन द रॉक्स. अब इसके बीच देयर कैन बी द मैग्मा और लावा दैट इज ट्रैप्ड. सो उसके नीचे, if this is red color, is an example of a magma, this is obviously magma which has been solidified over the period of time. It did not have enough power to come out, it has solidified below the surface of the earth in this form. Some magma or lava comes out, goes up straight, and later उसके बाद वो बाहर जब देगा तो it is an extrusive landform. Some will escape through this and it will solidify in this manner. Because the bedding plane is U-shaped, some magma or lava, see how I am making the diagram, will solidify, some magma will solidify in this manner here. Some of it may solidify in such a way that it becomes somewhat like this. उसके बाद अगर वो बाहर आता है तो व्हाट, वॉल्केनिक माउंटेन्स, or it can be volcanic plateaus. I have drawn plateaus and mountains to show you a relative size कि ये कितने बड़े landforms है. Only thing is they are inside the earth. So this may be a mountain, but it is very, very small as compared to the what has been solidified below. Now you tell me, I'll give you a definition and you tell me what is the name of a landform. So सबसे पहले you identify कौन सा landform we are talking about. So सबसे पहले write batholith. ये सारे क्या है, intrusive landforms. Lith मतलब rock. So magma has solidified in some shape. सबके constituent एक ही है. We are differentiating it on the basis of shapes. So batholith, a large mass of intrusive igneous rock, generally granite, which is found at maximum depth, comma, may form the root of a mountain, root of a mountain, rarely exposed to ground is batholith. So which are we talking about here? This one. We are talking about this. So this is the batholith. The very large mass, why it is rarely exposed? Because उसको expose करने के लिए we'll have to remove so much layers, then only, and इतना ज़्यादा erosion is not possible. But कहीं कहीं वो exposed है. Example is Ranchi in India. Ranchi is an example of an batholith, but no need of writing this. Next, lopolith. A saucer shaped mass of igneous rock, concave to the sky is lopolith. Saucer मतलब प्याला in Hindi. Saucer shaped mass of igneous rocks, concave to the sky is lopolith. So which we are talking about? This is lopolith. Next, so very easy it is to remember, is laccolith. A intrusive mound of an igneous rock. A intrusive mound of an igneous rock which is connected by pipe from below, which is connected by pipe from below, is laccolith, which is connected by pipe from below is laccolith. So pipe यहाँ पे भी है, यहाँ पे भी है, पर माउंटेन कौन सा है? Facolith. Facolith. A lens-shaped mass. A lens-shaped mass found in pairs. Found in pair. Found in pair. Occupying the top of an anticline. Occupying a top of an anticline or base of a syncline, or base of a syncline, or base of a syncline is facolith. Full stop. It is always connected by pipe from below. It is always connected by pipe from below. So, can I say this? Facolith. ये दोनों काफी easy है. First, how to avoid the confusion in this four. Lith मतलब rock, and this is the shape या location. So, bathy मतलब depth. So, batholith हमेशा at the greatest depth. Keyword in the examination is large mound, greatest depth, root, rarely exposed. So, answer is batholith. Lopolith. So, forget about lopolith अभी. Laccolith. अब लोकोलिथ लैकोलिथ में अगर यू आर कंफ्यूज्ड, जस्ट ट्राई टू सी, जिसमें सी है उसको इन्वर्ट कर दो, इट बिकम्स द माउंड शेप, माउंटेन शेप. फाइन. सो फिर दूसरा जो बचता है वो बचता है सॉसर शेप्ड. सॉसर शेप्ड, सॉसर जिसमें चाय पीते हो, नॉट प्लेट. प्लेट इज नेवर कॉनकेव, saucer is always concave, and that is what I said, प्याला. I use the word प्याला in Hindi because इसमें भी P है. saucer shape. Last है lens shaped. अब lens is always in pairs and P से ये शुरू होता है, P pair, double. So this will help you in reducing the confusion in the preliminary examination. So we'll meet tomorrow. We'll do that.